Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. This past weekend, I went to my 4th ever Metallica show, all thanks to the ghost, of course, my wife, who surprised me on my birthday with tickets to go see them, and here's my review of the show. Just like my past two Metallica concerts, 2017 and 2018, I did record my reaction to the majority of the set list. Each time a new song started, I recorded my reaction to see what song it was going to be, any surprises, all that kind of stuff. That video will come out a little bit later this evening. Two things before I dive into the review. Number one, it was just great just to see the band again. I wasn't expecting to see them this year. Then, of course, my wife, the ghost, surprised me with tickets, so I'm not really complaining. Best birthday gift ever. And number two, I want to thank the fans who reached out and met me at the show on Saturday. Two of them reached out via Twitter. We planned it out. We met up. That was really cool. But then two other people noticed me and reached out and chatted with me for a little bit. And it was just really cool to meet the people who've been supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It really meant a lot to me to meet you guys. We had two opening acts before Metallica played that night, which was first up Greta Van Fleet and then second before Metallica, Cage the Elephant. I'll be honest with you guys. When I found out I'm going to the show, I looked up the opening acts on YouTube briefly, clicked on one song each. I forget what songs I clicked on from each band, but I listened to a little bit and I honestly was not excited. But when the opening band Greta Van Fleet started playing and continued throughout their set, which by the way was actually longer than I thought it was going to be, but I'm not complaining too much because I started to like them and started to like them a lot. And as they continued, I'm like, holy crap, I was wrong about this band. And there's a song they played. It was actually longer live than the studio version, because I've heard the studio version a couple times and a couple of other stuff after the show. But it was the song, I think it's called The Weight of Dreams or something like that. It's the closer of their second album, the last song on their second album. I was, wow, okay, this is something that I've been missing out on, like a band that I haven't heard of before, and now I'm glad I did. I'm glad that they opened for Metallica. Holy crap, was I wrong when I first listened to whatever song it was when I heard I was going to the show. I was wrong. Holy crap, this band is good. They performed really damn well, and I'm glad that I was wrong. I really am glad I was wrong, because it would have made it probably a worse experience if I went in and they actually weren't not good and I actually didn't enjoy them. So it actually makes me happy that I did enjoy them. However, the second band, Cage the Elephant, came on. And as they were continuing through their set, I started to lose interest really quickly. And looking at my phone more often, and I really wasn't paying too much attention. The vocalist of this band was continuing to change his outfit, taking stuff off of his outfit, and kept yelling he loves the audience and everybody, and he's running around. He jumps off the stage at one point and doesn't really plan this out, because it feels like it's the last song of the set, because he jumps off the stage and he's near the crowd or whatever, the barricade and all this kind of stuff, and they say thank you at the end of the song, and people are like, okay, awesome, woo, and we think it's the end of the set. He can't get back up on the stage, so he has to talk into the mic and someone has to go help him up back on the stage, and we think they're done. They got like 3 or more songs to go, and people thought they were done. And as they're continuing past that point, I'm getting annoyed because I'm just not interested. Honestly, I'm losing more and more interest of them. I just don't care at this point. It's just not for me. And then I was noticing people around me were just kind of getting tired of it as well. So when they were finally done, I think the guitarist or drummer had to tell the vocalist to get off the stage because they had to go, and he just kept standing around, and they had to really tug at him. Come on, we gotta go. We gotta go, get off the stage. People weren't like yelling and shit to get off the stage, but like there was like a time limit and they had to go, and the guy just kept standing up there and just kind of basking in it. And I think a lot of people were just kind of clapping just for them to go, and they finally left. Then Metallica. Now, for the past number of years, Metallica has performed 18 song sets when they perform live. They performed 16 at the show, and I believe that's the norm because that's what they've been doing for the last number of shows they've done this year is 16 song sets, unless I'm wrong about that, but I've been seeing people say it looks like it's going to be 16 from now on, but that's just them guessing based on what they've been doing the last number of shows. The set list wasn't too special, but I'm not complaining too much, even though I kind of wish there was a little bit more variety to it, because I got to hear for the first time at this show Ride the Lightning in person for the first time, No Leaf Clover in person live for the first time, Holier Than Thou in live, in person for the first time. I can't even talk. It's been a long day. And Blackened, which is crazy, because in 2009, during the fast song portion of the set, 2009, I got Fight Fire Fire. 2017, Battery. 2018, Spit Out the Bone. And now 2021, Blackened. So I'm not complaining too much. I've gotten a different fast song each time I've seen them live. So no complaints there, even though I wish, like I said, the set was a little bit different. But a huge variety in terms of covering a bunch of different albums from their catalog. So I think it was overall pretty solid. Now to some technical problems that I don't think is Metallica's fault, because they were playing pretty damn well. Like, I was really happy with it, and you'll see in the footage as I will post that video a little bit later. They sounded great. They were doing really well, and people were losing their minds and freaking out every time a new song started. So it was great overall. But there were some technical problems that I don't. It's got to be the venue itself. It can't really be Metallica. I don't think it's Metallica's side of it. I think it's the venue side of it for some of these hiccups. Number one, and I'm not sure if it's the speakers or whatever at the actual video itself or what was going on, but Kirk's guitar sometimes wasn't really as loud as it should be. Now, during like guitar solos and some other particular very important parts, you can hear him like clearly over everything else like it should. But there were some other times where it needed to be louder and it wasn't. Like, I can understand what he's playing because I can see him playing it on the screen, or I can look down and see him playing it, but it could be louder, just in case those people that don't really know maybe that particular part in a song, they may not know exactly what he's doing, but I can kind of hear it in my head and kind of know, like I can kind of hear it barely, but it should be louder. But I'm not sure what was going on with that, but I think that may be the venue's fault. You'll also see in the footage as well, you probably see this in other footage from the show as well, they have these big screens on either side of the stage where they have up-close HD quality shots of the different band members that keep switching back and forth, and they have these effects going on as well, like cool effects during the different songs. And they have these screens behind the band as well in the middle of the stage, but those are separate because they have these screens on either side to kind of show you these like different effects and stuff you can see up close on James when he's singing, and then cut to Lars, and then cut to like an overhead of Lars, and then cut to Kirk, Rob. It just cuts back and forth all this stuff, and they have like these effects. There were times throughout the night, only during Metallica. It wasn't during the other bands performing. It was only Metallica. Sometimes the cameras will just cut off and it's just black screen. There's nothing to be seen. It's just gone. Then they would randomly cut back, and it didn't feel like it was like a planned thing. It felt like it was like a technical issue where they were having problems, maybe with the effects or something, or maybe something was wrong with the cameras. I'm not really sure, but something was going on, and I don't think Metallica really addressed it, but it was something that was going on that I think was just kind of bothersome. But I can't really fault Metallica because I think it was the venue's fault. It is kind of irritating because where I was sitting, if I look down at the stage, I can see the individuals of Metallica. But the lights are so bright that I can't really see faces per se, like actual facial expressions. I can see they're playing guitar, playing bass, playing the drums, but I can't necessarily see their faces. Like, so the screens were like an added layer of the experience that I needed. And the majority of the time, the screens were on. But it was just like those couple of moments where randomly in a song, it would cut off for like a minute or so, and then it would come back. But when they were on in full effect and these different effects going on and these to add to the experience, I think it was really interesting, really, really good. So kind of wish they would have had that under control. I'm not really sure what was going on with that, but I think it might have been the venue. I was wondering how Metallica was going to sound because I have been hearing some of their more recent stuff they've done this year in terms of shows, and they've sounded a lot better. They sounded like they're slowing down certain songs, especially faster ones to kind of keep it more in tempo with the studio version, not so much trying to speed it up and rush it. So I feel like they're doing really damn well, and they found a hopefully better balance in terms of their schedules on touring and their set list schedule and all that kind of stuff in terms of how they're going to, schedule out a set list and how they're going to progress through the night. It was done pretty damn well in my opinion, and I cannot wait to see them again. I want to see them as much as I can now before they retire, because eventually they will at some point. It was loud, but no complaints, because it's going to be loud and it needs to be loud. And there were some mistakes here and there where they're human. They're going to make mistakes playing, but overall it just adds to the experience of the fact that, it's not a crisp, clean live show, because they could easily be doing stuff to help them, backing tracks, stuff like that, but they don't do that. It's all live, it's all real, and that's what's most important in my opinion. So overall, I was happy with the night. Greta Van Fleet opening the show. I'm glad I was wrong about that band. I'm glad that I'm actually starting to like their stuff and actually listening to more of their stuff throughout the day today, leading up to this review, just listening, going, I'm glad I was wrong, because I really thought I wasn't going to be happy with this opener. But Cage the Elephant, unfortunately, just wasn't for me. Didn't really care, and it seemed that a portion of the audience, it seemed like they were just clapping for them to get off of the stage, because eventually at some point we're all getting restless. We're waiting for Metallica to show up, and they showed up a little bit after 9, which I thought they might have would have came out sooner, but I think because of the timing and whatever and what was going on with the setup and tear down of other, sets, because they had to set up and tear down Greta Van Fleet stuff, set up and tear down Cage the Elephant stuff, and then get Metallica stuff set up, because they were setting up Metallica stuff, and that wasn't like some of that stuff was pre-set up, other stuff wasn't. So it's all about the timing and getting all this stuff together. So it's all about just going as fast as you can in terms of getting all that stuff ready for the next band. But it was great overall. Had a good time. Glad I went, and thankfully my wife, the ghost, got me the tickets. We were able to enjoy it together. And and now patiently waiting around to see whenever the 5th time will be for me to go to see Metallica. But overall, good stuff, regardless of the slight hiccups with the venue and all that. But I'm not going to complain too much because I got to see my favorite band of all time, and that's what matters really at the end of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.